Hello everyone, you're here with Claro Beauty and with your host Claudia Lara. Thank you very much for being here with me. So today is sort of a continuation or a new video, if you want to call it, on fragrances, because I just made a video on the house of MAISON FRANCIS KURKDJIAN PARIS. So this is the house, and I did a whole video on the discovery set that they sell. There's 3 actually. If you want to check that video out, and I talk about all the 6 fragrances, I'm gonna list it down below. But I didn't want it to take that long, right? To keep adding more fragrances. So today we're gonna do the last 3 that I have here in front of me, and which are Grand Soir, and then Feminin Pluriel, and last Aqua Vitae. So if you watch the other video, you'll know, but if not, I'm gonna say here that I usually love to order samples or discovery sets because it is my passion, and I have so many that if I buy the full bottles, I will never go through them. But I really enjoyed the experience. I enjoyed the experience of trying them all. In this house in particular, of course, you can get them in the major department stores, you know, like Bloomingdale's, or I think, if not, Neiman Marcus, or you know, Saks Fifth Avenue, things like that. Carry them, but if not, you can go directly to their website. And the discovery sets, just like this box, are sold, and especially in the holidays, right? And they have one, I think they have 3, one for her, one for him, and one regular. You can check them out. They usually go out of stock because they do sell out quickly, and then they restock them. So you just have to look for them. But when you go directly to the website, you can order the sample sizes. I think you can order 5 at one or 3. I don't remember how many I ordered, but it was like $35, and you get to choose which fragrances you want. And it's a great way to discover the brand or the house of fragrance, and to try different ones. And then if you decide to buy a bottle, they give you credit for the samples that you got. Now, it's not an inexpensive sort of fragrances. They are more luxurious, but in my opinion, there's a reason for them. This house, all the fragrances are very unique, distinctive, and worth the splurge, if you want to mention it like that, right? So that is FYI. Anywho, you also will notice, if you want to see what I'm wearing Lisa Eldridge eyeshadows, and of course there's 5 of them. You can look at the video also, but what it is different between the last video where I did all the other fragrances and this one, I kept promising to change my lips to red, because in the other one I'm a little more nude. And so I thought for this last 3 fragrances that we'll be reviewing or experiencing, I put finally the red lips with the whole look. And what I'm wearing on my lips is Lisa Eldridge Velvet Jazz, which is also one of her main, one of the first ones she came out with, which was a trio, and it was all red lipsticks, Morning Ribbon and Jazz, and this is the sort of darker, more jazzy. So I love also how it goes with the look. There you have it. So let's begin with this 3. We're gonna start with the Grand Soir with these 3 fragrances and see. I have to admit, I already smell all the other ones, so I'm a little flowing in this cloud of fragrances, but that is okay. All right, so let's put this one right here. Woo! I always sound like, but it still surprises me. You know, if you want to know if I'm ticklish, I am ticklish. You know, the ticklish people are a little more exaggerated. You touch them and you're like, oh, and like, I barely touch you. Yeah, I know, but you know, we're sensitive. That's what it is. This is very lovely. Now this is very interesting because the last fragrance I smell, which I was doing in the other video, was the Baccarat Rouge 540. The Baccarat Rouge 540 is one of their best sellers. It's a very distinct sort of fragrance and is very strong. So coming from there to this one, it just feels lovely. It just feels a rest because that one is very sweet. And this one, we're not going to describe it as sweet at all. So let me look at the ingredients. They are main accords, amber and vanilla. This is very interesting. Only 2. I mean, all the other fragrances that I was describing in the other video had, you know, like 6 or sometimes 7 ingredients. The fact that this only has 2, immediately I have to go into, I love the simplicity of it. Yet, I wouldn't say it smells simple. I wouldn't say no. All the fragrances in this house have their own complexity and depth. So it's very obvious to me that whomever is making them is a knowledgeable, obviously, sort of chemist or expert. So this is very, very lovely. I mean, Grand Soir, just by the look at the bottle, the liquid itself looks a little ambery, orangey. And, you know, that reminds me of a brandy, you know, a liqueur with that orangey. I can even hear the ice sort of thing. I don't know why, but that's the image that it comes. But this one is very elegant. And so I like it. I like it. I'm sorry I have to smell like this. It almost looks like I'm smelling my armpit, but it's because I have the other smells on my arm already. So very, very lovely. I was wondering what amber smells like, especially when I smell them or when they list them in the ingredients in the other fragrances. And I don't think I could have distinct exactly what amber smells like. And now that this one only has those 2 and amber is the primary, then there's the vanilla. I think the amber represents more of that, I wouldn't say alcoholic, that sounds horrendous, but when I think of that fragrance that comes out of somebody drinking more a brandy, an elegant brandy, that's what it reminds me, this amber thing. Maybe I'm completely wrong, but this is, yeah, very, very elegant, all world. Definitely I see this from a very, I wouldn't say mature because I have used that word before, but very distinct, experienced, knowledgeable, wise, elegant woman. So this is the first fragrance of all the ones that I have smelled that definitely takes me like to Paris downtown in the 1920s. Why? I don't know. I even see the long dresses, the big hats, you know, that kind of era, that kind of distinguishedness, elegance, that kind of mystery. Yeah. So there you have it. That's it. Let's move on. There's only 3 today. There's only 3 in this video. So that's Grand Soir. I really like it. I'm gonna have to think what would I wear it towards, but I like the elegance of it, definitely. And I like that it is that kind of fall winter. Like I don't see it as a summer, which I'm sure you could. And I will have to be in the summer to see how I feel about it. Even though I live in Miami and I feel the heat, it's not cold. But I'm in the holiday spirit, you know? So no, I will have to be in the summer and tell you how I feel about it. All right, move on. So now we're gonna go with Feminin Pluriel. And this one, and I have mentioned this from this house, I love the coloring of the bottles. If you see, this is more pinkish. And even the liquid, it is more pinkish. And each of them have their distinct. Like this one was more golden, ambery, orangey. You see that? So that in itself starts the full experience, in my opinion. So let's see, and I'm sure I'm starting to look like I'm smelling my armpits, but it is what it is when you try to do several. All right, so this one to begin, and this has happened before in other houses. It had not happened in any of the other ones that I have smelled, that I apply it and I can get a hint of alcohol. Now, usually the alcohol is to preserve, obviously, the fragrance, and it's supposed to evaporate quicker. So when you put it on, you might smell it and then it evaporates and you have the fragrance that stays with you. However, when there's an upscale, more luxurious fragrances, you usually are not supposed to smell the alcohol to begin with. And this is the first one that I do. Now it has evaporated, now I don't smell it at all. But when I first sprayed it, I did. Maybe I needed to mix it a little bit. But I don't like that part. I think, you know, not that I'm an expert, not that I'm a big picky, but that's a big like, but now it's lovely. Now it's lovely. I can forget about the alcohol. Look at how I get, well, because I don't want to smell alcohol when I'm expecting a beautiful scent. All right, past, forgiven, like if I have something to forgive. But I'm rambling here because I am part of the memories, or what do you call it, enamor or experience of all the fragrances I have smelled. But I'm also giving it a little time. Wow, this is beautiful. Let me look at what ingredients it has. Okay. The smell of this is so lovely and so feminine. We're back to, I feel flowery. Now let's look at the ingredients. I haven't read them, but they are, they're many. That's what I was saying. The first one surprised me that there were only 2, because all the ones that I have looked so far had many. So this one has white floral, definitely. I immediately can sense that. White floral, violet, powdery, iris, rose, woody, earthy, floral, fresh patchouli. Patchouli, which, you know, in aromatherapy, patchouli is a big one. You know, it's usually they say when you, I know this is not a good thing to bring up, but when you smell the hippie-ish or the, you know, more earthy, or somebody, a friend of mine used to call them granola tree. Well, used to call me granola tree because I'm a little hippie-ish. And so, you know, when you're in all these oils, essence that are natural, the patchouli, right? Patchouli. It's supposed to be the oil of love. It's supposed to be the seductive. I hadn't seen the patchouli in any of these fragrances, so I'm here surprised by it. It is the last one, all the ones I read. I see the powdery. Powder is very interesting because it is used to describe also the Chanel No. 5, a powdery sort of a smell. So going back to this Feminin Pluriel, well, I like the name for it, feminine, you know, Feminin Pluriel, because definitely brings me to a very feminine sort of floral. And every time I have described floral is this opening up, you know, this very sweet, but not sweet in the sense of sugar like I described the Baccarat. It is in sweetness, young freshness. And so it is like that. It's very beautiful, but it's not like a little girl, like I described some of the other ones, very fresh and the flowery and in the feel, you know. No, this one has a femininity to it, floral, but a little more, I find it a little more interesting, but absolutely in that opening, fresh, flowery. I like it. You know, I ordered this a while back and I don't think I have used it. I used the most the Aqua Universalis. The Aqua Universalis, look, is the one that I have used the most of the full Discovery set. I really like this because it's fresh. But I think I'm gonna start experimenting with this one, Feminin Pluriel. This one is more in like I just described, in this floral, feminine, nice opening way. And look, we are in fall, winter, and I just said that I wouldn't know how this one will do in the summer, the Grand Soir. But this one, obviously, I can see it spring, summer, and I could smell, I could see it now fall and winter when you're in that mood of being just fresh and feminine and yeah. I mean, I wouldn't describe it as a fall, winter, but I could wear it in the fall, winter, if that makes sense. All right. Last but not least, the last one I have here is called Aqua Vitae. I'm very curious about this one now. All right, I'm gonna put it in the palm of my hand because I haven't put anything there. And I think I'm not now covered. Oh, excuse me for, I dropped it. Okay, I think I'm getting drunk with all the fragrances. This will be the last one. I hope you're enjoying my drunkenness. All right, so I just applied some, and this is the Aqua Vitae. Let me look for the ingredients. Okay, Aqua Vitae. Apparently there's an Aqua Vitae Forte, and then they have this Aqua Vitae. So this is the Aqua Vitae, and it is for women and men. And the main accords are citrus, vanilla, woody, fresh, aromatic, white floral, sweet, and floral. Again, many ingredients if you notice. So this is definitely, it's citrus. So we're back at this positive action, cleanness, more in the citrus category. And I'm glad I ordered these two in this set, in the sense that I feel these are kind of in the same lane, but one is citrus and one is floral, if that makes sense. But they're in that same grade, because you know, when you go to like the Baccarat 540, you're like in a different lane. And when you go to the Aqua Universalis that I was mentioning, also a more subtle, different lane. So these two, Feminin Pluriel and this Aqua Vitae, I feel they're in the same lane. It's just one is more citrusy and one is more floral. So it depends on what you feel like, right? So this one is very nice, very positive, but again, in that activity mode, like I'm gonna go out and do things. So if you want to create a change, if you want to inspire to move to something, I like this one. So yeah, I guess my life right now is not very active, that I can't think of where I will wear it to. But again, something that has activity in it and that I'm gonna be moving. Like if I had this fragrance, I don't think I could just sit still, if that makes sense, or be very rational and thinking and in that kind of mood. No, this is, let's go out, let's do things. So maybe, yeah, traveling and and moving. So, but it's beautiful. It's definitely beautiful. The reason I say beautiful is not just beautiful in that simple sense. It's beautiful in a very interesting sort of way, just like all the fragrances on this house. They're not simple. So when I say simple within the house, yeah, it's a nice fragrance. I don't think I would smell it and recognize it. It's not one of those smells that somebody goes by and you're like, oh, I know what you're wearing. I mean, of course, if you get good at it, you could recognize any fragrances, right? But this is not something that I don't think that I will remember somebody by. However, it's a very nice, comfortable, yeah, beautiful fragrance. So there you have it. I think I'm not gonna be doing so many fragrances at once because you can see I'm a little drunk already. But I hope you have enjoyed yourself. This is not such a long video, which is sometimes, you know, we appreciate. And again, if you want to see the look, which I already spoke about, since it's the first time I try them, I really like it. And now that I put the red lips, I wish I had somewhere to go tonight. And of course, now that I got inspired by all these fragrances of elegance and beauty and action and optimistic and wisdom, and took me to different eras. What a beautiful life. What is that song? What a wonderful life. I know, it's what a wonderful world. What a wonderful world. All right, guys, this is the time that I remind you to please subscribe to my channel if you haven't done so, to please ring the bell in the right-hand corner, to comment, request, suggest, share your experiences with these fragrances, if you know it, if you don't know it, and what's your description of them. Thank you very much for watching, and I will see you next time. Bye.